Good afternoon. My name is Reginald Mebane. I'm shooting a documentary today to accompany my book, which will be released this fall. The name of the book is The Ghost at the Table. This is the prologue. I hope you enjoy. Down Poplar Avenue from the plantation to the plantation. This is a working title. The Mebane Plantation, a weathering station. Quote, fear is a communicable infection, and the body keeps score at a cellular level. Like sclerotic heart disease, slave life weathers away your soul from the inside out. The cataract film of slave destiny covered their vacant eyes and masked the immediate death of their forgotten souls. Like Frankenstein's monster, bolted together in the bowels of the grisly slave ship, the unimaginable horror of the captives from the Ghana coast were sardine canned together so tightly that it was difficult to even breathe, yet hope to survive. A dark night sky pinpricked with tiny stars as drunken ravens circled above the vessel from hell, hoping to somehow feast on the remains of the dead and the near-dead souls on board. Flashback to Ghana. Ruinously unprepared when their own African tribes sold them in chains to the white colonizers on Ghanaian soil, they were marched into the slave ship and below the deck of the vessel known as the Black Tiger. Tortured, dirty, and defeated, he lay shackled next to a fellow villager as she wept through eyes that simmered like scarlet coals in the darkness. They were headed to an unknown place called America. And America herself, like a beautiful woman with a dirty face, knew deep down inside that something was off and would never be right her world again. Trying to look our past in the eye, our saga begins approximately 3 miles southwest of Macon, Tennessee, circa 1858 on the Mebane Plantation. The main house was once described as being constructed of slave-cast red bricks burned in a kiln located in the back of an old apple orchard. Ornamental masonry scrolls decorated the eaves about the dentils, which adorned the upper limits of the outer walls. The 4 white columns across the front were square double columns on a single base. All the outer doors were double doors, approximately 9 feet high, having 4 panels. Beautiful scroll lintels surmounted the windows, all adorned with deep forest green shutters. The floor plan was in the shape of a T, 2 stories high. The back part is 1 story with a long porch running down each side of it. Double doors opened onto each side, allowing easy access from one side to the other. 2 cisterns punctuated each side of the yard, built to carry the water underground to the house. Listed on the National Registry of Historic Places, this house still stands today as the Mebane Knuckles House on Knuckles Road in Rossville, Tennessee. If walls could talk, as walls always do, they would tell you that Confederate Captain John W. Mebane was killed during the Civil War at the Battle of Lost Mountain, and his body was brought back to this very house to be buried in the family cemetery a short distance behind it. Although the Mebane family stay in Fayette County, Tennessee was a brief one, the family saga rivals and in many instances rises above the level of the classic Gone with the Wind. Their appearance on the scene was during the turbulent era leading up to the war between the states. They left what was then known as North Carolina, much like their ancestors who moved from Ireland to the colonies to reestablish themselves in the West, ultimately landing in Fayette County, Tennessee. Overcoming death, disease, and at times a vengeful Mother Nature, they established a slave system and cotton plantations second to none in the antebellum South. Their beautiful home stood as a symbol of pride to that stormy era. They gave 2 sons dedicated to the Confederacy, defending their home and their way of life, slavery. When the war ended, one son had given his life to the cause of war, his body carried back home by the faithful, steadfast slave known as Tom. Remember his name.
Make sure they finish that field today.
We all descended from Tom Mebane, born in 1806, who lived to be 90 years old. Flashback. Clothed in fiery anger, the Tennessee sun crept into the dawn like a silent assassin, intent on encasing all in his path just to see who could survive his wrath. The ant-like army of plantation field slaves snaked their way through the thick fields of dirty white cotton long before sunrise. Their flawless manipulation of the plants, the cotton bags, and the cadence of their working was a supreme sight to see, to which spoke to their mastery as field hand technicians. A rudderless man-child, Jeb, the lead field hand, the one who set the work rhythm, was unmissable. Vanta Black, he towered above the others, drowning in his own powerful physicality like a giant shadow, devouring the ants below in his mighty wake. Plantation life was a constant symphony of violence, for the days would change colors, but the nights were always dangerously black. Your children and your children's children died the moment they were born, shackled to a life of miserable impermanence. As unsure as Christ was in the end, the impermanence of each passing slave moment of life left you wondering if this day would be your last day on earth. Thank you.